I found out today that my fiancé, Luke, has been emailing his ex-girlfriend, Priya, for quite some time now, and it's completely devastated me. I don't even know where to begin. I'm still in shock, sitting here in disbelief, unable to cry because my mind is racing. I haven't reached out to him yet. He's at work. I don't know what to do next. Luke and I have been together for 5 years. We've had our ups and downs, like any relationship, but I truly believed we were solid. We met shortly after his breakup with Priya, his college girlfriend. She was his first love, and I was afraid I was just a rebound. But he reassured me that wasn't the case, and I trusted him. We've been together since then, and I never had any major reason to doubt him. But today, I decided to check his email. It was supposed to be a simple task, looking through his contacts to get addresses for our wedding invitations. I've been asking him to send them to me for a week now, but he kept putting it off. So I decided to take the matter into my own hands. He keeps his contacts stored in his email, so I opened it up. That's when I saw an email from Priya at the top of his inbox. The subject line was, "Response to Priya," and it was clear from the first glance that it was something important. His reply to her had the full subject line cut off after, "How can I when you still exist?" I stood there for a while, frozen, trying to decide if I should open it. A part of me wanted to trust him, to believe that I had no reason to snoop, but another part of me felt like if there was nothing to hide, then I should go ahead and open it. So I did. What I found was far worse than I could have imagined. The email thread went back and forth for a week, and Luke had been pouring his heart out to her, telling her things he never told me. He was still in love with her, and what's worse, he was belittling me in the process. I've never felt so humiliated in my life. In one of the emails, Priya asks him why I don't make him happy, and he says that I try, but I just can't measure up to what he had with her. He even said, "She's just not good enough for me." But what truly cut deep was his casual cruelty. He mocked me for a physical scar I've had for years, one that I've never been ashamed of. When I was a teenager, I was in a car accident, and a piece of the dashboard shattered, landing in my chest. It was a life-threatening injury, but I survived. The scar is a constant reminder of that. And while it's disfigured my nipples slightly, I've always accepted it as part of my story. It never bothered me. But to read Luke's words about it, mocking me, saying it looked like something out of Edward Scissorhands, was almost more than I could bear. I just sat there, stunned. He didn't stop there. He went on to say how he could only get aroused when he thought about being with Priya, how much he missed her, and how much he couldn't stand being with me. He even admitted that if she lived nearby, he would have left me already. I can't even explain how badly this hurts. The man I was supposed to marry, who I thought loved me, was so deeply emotionally involved with his ex that he didn't even try to hide it. One email I found was him telling Priya how he missed the back door with her and how he wasn't into trying it with me. But I know that's a lie. I've tried to bring it up with him, and he told me he wasn't into it. He made me feel like I was asking for something weird or out of the ordinary, but clearly that was just an excuse. I feel so embarrassed and foolish for trusting him. The thing is, I'm not just angry. I'm heartbroken. All of this happened under my nose, and I never had a clue. Luke had been stringing me along while still holding a torch for Priya, laughing at my expense and making me feel inadequate. I kept thinking we were planning a future together, that we were making progress toward our wedding, but I was living in a lie. I'm at a loss about what to do next. Do I confront him? Do I just pack up my things and leave without saying a word? I'm beyond humiliated. I feel like my dignity is in pieces. I don't want to scream or cry in front of him. I'm not that type of person. I want to keep my composure, but I don't even know how to handle this. I'm crying in a ball, unsure of what to do. Last night, I texted Luke, telling him that my best friend Jake had gotten into a fight with his boyfriend, and I was going to stay with him. It wasn't a complete lie, but it wasn't the whole truth either. I needed space, time away from everything to process this betrayal. When I got to Jake's place, I showed him the emails, and he and his boyfriend Mike were furious. We cried together for a while, feeling the weight of the situation, but we all knew that getting angry at Luke wouldn't get me anywhere. It wouldn't solve the heartache I was feeling. We all agreed that the best way forward was to take the high road. No drama, no confrontation. Just get out of this toxic situation, walk away with my head held high. We came up with a plan to get me out of the apartment as quietly as possible. Mike, who is a property manager, called my landlord, explained the situation, and assured her that I'd be moving out soon. She wasn't exactly thrilled, but she said it wouldn't be a problem to get my name off the rental agreement. I had paid most of the rent over the past year, so the process would be smooth enough. Luke and I had been living on a month-to-month lease, and I'd been covering most of the financial load. So when Jake and I were talking about the logistics of moving out, Mike pointed out that Luke doesn't make nearly enough to cover the rent on his own, especially without me. Honestly, that gave me a bit of satisfaction. It was a small piece of karma, knowing that he might struggle now. I never wanted to hurt him, but I couldn't help but feel a little vindicated, knowing that he might be facing some consequences for the way he'd treated me. Jake, Mike, and I rented a moving truck, and it only took a few trips to get all my things out. We didn't rush. We took our time, making sure everything was packed up and ready to go. Luke had texted me a few times, asking if I was coming home. I didn't reply directly. Instead, I told him that I was already home with Jake, that everything was fine, and that Jake was doing okay. He seemed so clueless, so oblivious to what was really going on. It almost made me feel sorry for him. Almost. But I couldn't care anymore. After we got all my stuff moved, Jake and I decided to make the most of the night. We went to the store and bought a big tub of vanilla ice cream, the kind I knew Luke would never touch. I left it on the kitchen counter alongside my engagement ring and a note that read, "I know vanilla isn't your favorite, but this is the only vanilla you'll be eating from now on. XOXO." I didn't ruin anything. I didn't destroy his possessions. I didn't send those humiliating emails to his friends or family. I just left, quietly and with dignity. I wasn't going to let him know how deeply he'd hurt me. I was done. Now, I'm staying with Mike and Jake. I'm financially independent, so finding a new place to live won't be a problem. I don't need anyone to save me. I'm strong enough to stand on my own. But still, I'm finding it hard. My emotions are still a tangled mess, and some days the sadness threatens to overwhelm me. I deleted Luke from social media, blocked his email address, and told myself I'm not going to respond to him anymore. I'm not going to get sucked back in. I'm moving forward, one step at a time. I'm not hiding anymore. I won't be ashamed of the scar that once made me feel self-conscious. It's a part of me, and it doesn't define my worth. I'm going to be okay. This isn't the end of my story, it's just a new chapter. And I'm choosing to write it with strength and self-respect.